is very important, and this sort of kind of goes to what I'm saying about learning the game. And number 7 is learn how to speak man language. Learn how to speak man language. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, what I mean is that a lot of women don't understand how to communicate with men in order for the man to basically get what the woman is saying, in order for the woman to actually get what they want from the man. So it's kind of like, men and women, you could say, sort of speak two different languages, right? And now look at it like this. If, you ladies probably met a guy one time who it seemed like he knew all the right things to say. He knew how you were feeling. He knew when to hold you, when to back away. He knew when to, it seemed like he just knew how to communicate with you, and it made you feel good. You were like, wow, this guy, he's smooth, he's charming, he's this, he's that. He knows how to, make me feel like a woman, all this other craziness. Like, you just felt that thing with this guy, right? And the way he was communicating with you, you felt like he understood you and all this other stuff. And that's because he knew how to communicate with you and speak your language. He knows how he's that smooth. His game is so tight that he knows how to get his point across to you to make you feel him. Do you understand? So the same thing happens for, if a woman understands how to speak man language, that will make a guy basically feel closer to you and feel like, be more interested in you and attracted to you. So you're probably saying, so what the hell is man language, right? So in its simplest form, I'd say this. Man language is you basically communicating with a guy and making everything extremely literal and obvious. You understand? So I always use this example of if you are typing a sentence into a computer, right? If you type the sentence, I went to the store, what's going to show up on your computer screen is exactly what you typed. I went to the store. So whatever is being said or typed or whatever is what's going to be exactly seen. So when you're communicating with a man, when you're speaking man language, you can't speak in codes. You can't speak in, well, I'm saying this, but I'm not really saying this. You can't speak, in this ambiguous type of tone, or you can't, ask questions when you're really trying to, say a statement. You understand? So, like, for example, I'll give you a quick example. I had a friend who he was, his girl was like leaving the house or something, and she asked him, hey, could you clean up, before you leave or whatever. And he's like, all right, cool. So she leaves, and then, he does he's sweeps the floor and just washes the dishes, and then he leaves or whatever. Right. And then she comes back, and then later that night he said, she was like, oh, I thought, I asked you to clean. How come you didn't clean? I thought, you were going to clean. He's like, yeah, I swept the floor and I washed the dishes. And she was like, oh, but what about the bathroom? And then what about the bedroom? And what about vacuuming the rug? And what about this? So she starts listing all these different things, right? So, what happened is the reason why he wasn't able to do all these other things, or, vacuum and do the bathroom and all this other stuff, was because she wasn't literal and clear about exactly what she wanted him to do. See, when she said clean up, in her mind, she was thinking all those things she was listing. But when she said clean up, he just was like, oh, the dishes are dirty and the floor is dirty. I'm going to just sweep this up real quick, and that's that. So if she wanted the bathroom done and all the everything else done, she needs to specifically say those exact things. Hey, you know what? Can you clean up? I need you to sweep the floor, wash the dishes, do the bathroom floor, bathroom sink, clean up the bedroom, fold the covers. Like, it has to be that specific. That's exactly how it has to be. You have to be specific. You have to be literal. It has to be clear. That's how you speak man language. So, even when you are having a discussion and you're expressing something, you can't just have the attitude. A lot of women will say, well, you should just know. Guys don't just know. You have to spell it out for us. You have to spell it out for men. You have to, really break it all the way down. Do you understand? And that's how you communicate with a man. And men appreciate that stuff. Because then, the communication for that guy becomes easier with you. And then, he feels like, okay, this girl understands me. Right? And, when we talk about this pertaining to you choosing the right guy, what's going to happen is the more effectively you can communicate with a man, the better the communication between you and him will be, and the better of an understanding you and him will have with each other. So then when that happens, then you can see if this guy is or is not the right guy for you. Right? But what happens is there's usually a whole lot of miscommunication because either one or both parties don't know how to speak the other person's language. So, it's important for you to learn how to speak man language. And the thing is that, a lot of guys, they really work hard on trying to understand how to communicate with women. This is why guys learn, these different things and read all these books on how to attract women and all that, because they're trying to understand how to, best communicate with women in order to make these things happen. So the same thing also goes for you. Right? Because if you want to attract the guy, if you want things to happen with the guy, you need to figure out, okay, what do I need to do to best communicate this or to get this point across or to make this thing happen? And if you know how to speak man language, then it's going to be easier for you to get your point across and for you to communicate with him.
Hey, what's up? It's dating and life coach Mr. Locario. If you're tired of being single and want to find Mr. Right, then you need to join Mr. Locario's Bad Girl Membership Program. In this program, you'll receive 45 through 90-minute, easy-to-follow, step-by-step dating advice tutorials that's guaranteed to help you find the guy you've always been looking for. Go to MrLocario.com to become a Bad Girl member today. That's MrLocario.com. MrLocario.com.